Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to today's special program, where we will explore a social phenomenon shaking China, the collapse of the mining economy and its far-reaching consequences. This is not just a story about money, it also serves as a mirror reflecting profound changes in gender relations, personal values, and the economic structure of one of the world's greatest powers. Chinese men, after being caught up for a long time in the whirlwind of consumerism and unrealistic material expectations, are now gradually waking up. They realize that giving $75 to their mother can bring a lifetime of fulfillment, while spending the same amount on a gold digger woman only results in complaints about stinginess. This shift in mindset is not just an individual trend but has become a collective wave, leading to a mass withdrawal of men from the traditional dating and marriage market. As a consequence, the gold-digging economy, once considered the most lucrative business model of the 21st century, is now on the brink of complete collapse. In bustling cities like Shanghai, luxurious afternoon tea offerings, once symbols of extravagant lifestyles, are now being heavily discounted, and some have even shifted to group buying formats to attract customers. The pre-owned luxury goods market has also become more active than ever, with retailers quietly slashing prices to clear out inventory. A surreal reality is gradually emerging. What was once the pinnacle of ostentation and wasteful consumption is increasingly becoming a burden. The term gold digger, or lina, in Mandarin, originally referred to women who came from other provinces to Guangdong to make a living. Over time, it evolved into a label for women willing to sacrifice their dignity, using their looks and charm to gain financial benefits. The image of these gold diggers has also changed significantly. A few years ago, they often used vague tactics and created illusions to extract money. Today, their strategies have become much more sophisticated. Men have become increasingly cautious after being deceived multiple times. Now, professional gold diggers might let you experience a bit of sweetness, even putting in some effort themselves to create a sense of authenticity. But the essence remains the same. Once the relationship is established, they revert to old tricks, finding excuses to argue or act coldly without reason if they don't receive gifts or material compensation. In some cases, it even escalates into serious entrapment schemes, where victims can be falsely accused of crimes such as sexual assault. A successful businessman shared his bitter story of being scammed out of more than 1 million Chinese yuan. Despite being experienced and earning millions annually, he still fell into the trap due to the scammer's sophistication. A young, beautiful woman, with the innocent appearance of a college student, stirred memories of his first love. From pretending to be in trouble on a rainy night to repaying him for a gift she received, all were part of an elaborate scheme designed to build trust. When he began to notice suspicious signs, the woman turned hostile, threatening to expose him if he didn't comply with her demands. This story is not an isolated case. Through conversations with friends, he realized that many others had also been victims, and behind these scams lies a highly organized operation. These organizations operate with a professional process, ranging from infiltrating companies to investigate the backgrounds of young bosses, to polishing exploiters into top-tier con artists. They receive thorough training on how to build trust and extend the time spent baiting their targets before delivering the decisive strike. These behaviors have become the typical pattern of gold diggers. They don't marry for love or the desire to build a family, but for money. They lure men into buying expensive gifts before marriage, then quickly get divorced to seize the assets. On Chinese social media, countless men have shared similar stories. One man complained, "Now I don't even dare to talk to women anymore. While we're chatting, she gets hungry, her phone breaks, she runs out of money, has no clothes, no perfume, no foundation, no sunscreen, and then her birthday is coming up. It's like talking to me is making her poorer." Another man recounted a blind date where the woman demanded a new phone and left when he only agreed to contribute about $300. These stories highlight a serious loss of trust among men toward women in the current context. The Dai Dong case in Sun Tay has further aggravated the situation. A couple got engaged and had relations after the engagement ceremony. Later, the woman changed her mind and accused the man of rape. Although the man presented evidence of the bride price and the engagement agreement, asserting that the act was consensual, the court still convicted him of rape. This case caused a public uproar, making men worry that marriage could lead to similar accusations. Amid China's rapidly declining economy and falling incomes, an increasing number of men are choosing not to get married. Data from the first quarter of 2024 shows that the number of marriage registrations in China dropped by 159,000 compared to the previous year, while divorces rose by 57,000. As Chinese men become aware of the situation and the economic downturn continues, the gold-digging phenomenon has completely lost its market, leading to a collapse. This is clearly reflected in the sharp increase in the number of women applying for consumer loans and the significant rise in delinquency rates. Women who were once regarded as goddesses have now become debtors. Some believe this represents a wake-up call for modern men as they confront the survival rules of a consumer battlefield. They are beginning to vote with their feet and oppose this economic model. In the past, men were willing to empty their wallets to make their girlfriend smile, taking out online loans to buy lipstick, competing for limited edition handbags, booking five-star hotels, and arranging romantic dinners. Now, the balance has shifted. Lipsticks sit unsold, flowers wither on the shelves. The diamond legend has shattered, and luxury goods sales have plummeted. However, these gold diggers remain trapped in the cycle of consumerism, still craving designer handbags, expensive shoes, high-end cosmetics, and regular cosmetic treatments. As a result, they spend more and more, accumulate mounting debt, and become increasingly dependent on men. What they don't realize is that men are rising up against one-sided giving, and a silent revolution is underway. This shift is causing significant losses across 6 major industries. The luxury goods sector is the hardest hit. According to a report by Bain Capital, luxury sales in mainland China are expected to decline by 18 to 20% in 2024. Former miners who can't find jobs now have to rely on selling pre-owned luxury items to make ends meet. Over the past decade, China's second-hand luxury market has grown 7-fold, with sellers mainly being former miners and buyers predominantly young people. Next are industries focused on the experience of packaging and ritual. A typical day for a trendsetter often includes waking up in the afternoon, putting on makeup, enjoying a luxurious afternoon tea, and taking photos at a trendy cafe to post on social media. Afterward, she might meet a man or share fishing tips with friends. However, starting in 2023, upscale restaurants in major cities like Beijing, Shanghai, Guangzhou, and Shenzhen have been closing down in large numbers. Those that remain have seen revenue drop by as much as 60%. Premium bubble tea brands are also struggling to survive. The third sector affected is personal consumer loans. Men no longer borrow money to impress women, and women who are unable to repay their debts have become defaulters. Last year, all 6 major state-owned banks recorded an increase in non-performing loans in the personal consumer lending sector. By early 2025, some banks had lowered consumer loan interest rates to below 3%, with the lowest rate reaching 2.5%. Although the overall economic downturn was a contributing factor, the collapse of the mining economy and the dating and marriage economy played a significant role. The fourth industry to suffer losses was the socialite training programs. Women seeking wealthy husbands spent thousands to tens of thousands of dollars on these courses, where they were taught how to manipulate men. But when the gold-digging economy collapsed, many women realized the training was no longer useful. They began demanding refunds or even accusing the instructors of fraud, leading to the downfall of many training organizations. A notable example is the case of Thursday Danan, the so-called Queen of Gold Diggers, and a famous relationship coach who once earned about $22 million annually and had millions of followers. She was accused of evading $1.17 million in taxes and was forced to shut down her business overnight. The medical aesthetics industry is also the fifth victim. In the past, many women received beauty treatments funded by their boyfriends, which led to rapid growth in the industry. However, this year has seen an unusual decline. The top 3 companies in the medical aesthetics sector have all reported significant drops in revenue. Finally, online dating platforms are also facing difficulties. These apps were once very popular among men, but now they have realized that many women on these sites are gold diggers. What seemed like dating for true love is actually just schemes to get meals and gifts. The 2 leading dating apps in China have experienced a decline in business performance for 5 consecutive years. Men's money is now being spent on outdoor activities, fishing, and sports. When relationships are based on money, men will eventually be taken advantage of. Chinese men are officially saying goodbye to the mindset of blind infatuation. As a result, the situation for natural gold diggers will worsen. If society as a whole returns to traditional moral values, with both men and women being less materialistic and valuing their connections more, this could be the way forward for relationships in China. This is a quiet but meaningful revolution, one that not only reshapes gender relations but also the future of a nation.